Welcome to the Strange North channel. In this video, I'm going to show you the top 10 places to visit in the city of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Saskatoon is the biggest city in the province of Saskatchewan and has a population of about 340,000 people. Saskatoon is a beautiful city. Honestly, this place is such a gem and I try to come here at least once a year. There are so many cool things packed into this little city and I'm looking forward to showing you some of those places. So let's get started. At number 1 is Broadway Avenue. Broadway Avenue is the commercial center in the neighborhood of Nutana. Nutana is the oldest neighborhood in Saskatoon. This is the site of the original settlement that was started by the Temperance Colonization Society in 1883. And of course, Saskatoon eventually evolved and developed into the modern city that it is today. But this is the original neighborhood in Saskatoon, and of course it has a ton of history. The main area of Broadway Avenue is from 8th Street up north to the river. This whole area is really cool. It's a fantastic place to walk around. It has one of the best areas to shop and grab a bite to eat or something to drink. If I were to recommend one place to visit on Broadway Avenue, that would be Museo Coffee. This is the best overall coffee shop in the city of Saskatoon. The quality is so great here. Honestly, they make some of the best coffee I've ever had in my entire life. It's a very small coffee shop, and there are definitely really cool coffee shops in the city that are a lot bigger. But in terms of overall quality, this is one of the places you must visit when you're in Saskatoon, and definitely when you're on Broadway Avenue. And if you walk straight north on Broadway Avenue, you'll eventually get to the River Valley and the Broadway Bridge. And this area has a really great view of downtown and River Landing and the whole west side of the city. And overall, the area of Broadway Avenue is just one of the most popular places to eat and shop when you're in Saskatoon. This has a really great cluster of popular things to do and places to shop and some really cool historic buildings. This is an old area of the city and they've done a really great job of preserving some of their old character buildings. And this is just a fun and interesting place to walk around in general. So if you're new to the city, you have to visit Broadway Avenue. At number 2 is the University of Saskatchewan main campus. This is just to the northeast of Broadway Avenue. This university was founded in 1907 as an agricultural college, and it is now the top university in the province of Saskatchewan and one of the top research universities in the entire country. This is a really beautiful campus, and it's just a fun and interesting place to walk around in the city. I feel that way about most old university campuses, and they're places that you may not consider visiting if you're new to the city. But university campuses tend to have really beautiful green spaces and old historic buildings. This is a big campus and I'm not going to get into everything, but one central place to check out is called the Bowl. This is a big quad green space that is surrounded by a ton of old historic buildings. One of those buildings is the Peter McKinnon building. This is a major building on campus. This building also has a legend of being haunted, and I am working on a haunted Saskatoon video that I'm going to post within a couple weeks. There's also this random well-preserved old grain elevator on campus in honor of the agricultural history of the area. And even if you're not a student here, this is just a really fun and interesting place to walk around, and it has a ton of history. And if you're in town, you should definitely visit the U of S campus if you have a bit of time. At number 3 is the Broadway Bridge. Now, one of Saskatoon's nicknames is the City of Bridges. It has 9 river crossings in total, and it does have some beautiful bridges. I honestly have a framed picture of the University Bridge in black and white. And like I mentioned, if you're on Broadway Avenue and you walk straight north, you're gonna reach the Broadway Bridge. This bridge connects Broadway Avenue with downtown, and so this is a very major bridge in the city. This is actually the city's steepest bridge with a 4% grade going uphill from downtown to Broadway. And in my opinion, you can get some of the best views of the west side of the city, the whole downtown and River Landing areas from this bridge. At number 4 is the Delta Bessborough Hotel. Most people would consider this to be the most iconic building in Saskatoon. It was opened in 1935 by a division of the Canadian National Railway, and this is considered one of Canada's grand railway hotels. This hotel is on the eastern edge of downtown and it's right against the river. It's a really beautiful building to look at, and it's definitely a popular area for tourists to take pictures. And in maintaining the tradition of Canada's grand railway hotels being haunted, the Bessborough has its own legend legendary ghosts as well. And this is one of the most major haunted locations in the city. You should also check out the general park area around the hotel. The Kiwanis Memorial Park and the Vimy Memorial Bandstand sit directly to the south of the hotel. And this area is right up against the river, so there are some really beautiful riverfront walks in the immediate vicinity of this hotel as well. So if you're exploring Saskatoon, you must visit the iconic Bessborough Hotel and the beautiful surrounding areas. At number 5 is the downtown core. So Saskatoon's downtown core is bounded by Idlewild Drive to the west, 25th Street to the north, and then Spadina Crescent to the east and to the south. And that southeast area is going to connect you with the bridges across the river. And of course, like any downtown, you're going to find some cool places to walk around, maybe grab a bite to eat, and some cool places to shop. Sections of 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Avenue, the main streets in the middle of downtown, have tree-lined areas with cool shops and restaurants. And if you're into haunted locations, the Saskatoon Club and the Senator Hotel both have their own local legends of ghostly activity. I think City Hall and the surrounding Civic Square is a pretty cool area to walk around. To the north of the Bessborough Hotel, there are these beautiful grand churches, including the Cathedral of St. John the Evangelist and the Knox United Church. One of my favorite buildings personally in downtown Saskatoon is actually the Sturdy Stone Center at 122 3rd Avenue. I don't know, I just find this building to be pretty unique and I just think it looks cool. And the north end of downtown has a sparse collection of these really cool brick buildings that have been redeveloped into commercial and office space. And so I know I'm stating the obvious, but if you're in the city, you have to visit the downtown core. At number 6 is Riversdale. In my opinion, this is the coolest neighborhood in the city. This sits directly to the southwest of downtown, so it's very central, but it definitely has its own identity. The neighborhood of Riversdale is one of the oldest neighborhoods in the city, and it actually makes up one of the 3 original settlements that eventually turned into the city of Saskatoon. The main area of this neighborhood I think you should check out if you're wanting to explore the city is from 22nd Street south to about 19th Street, and from Idlewild Drive west to about Avenue F. This square is really the central core of the city of Riverdale, or at least the commercial core. And 20th Street is the main commercial street. I wanted to say one thing about Riversdale. It does get a bit rough as you go west into the neighborhood, especially west of E Street or F Street. That whole area does have a bit of a rougher reputation, and just in Saskatoon, this is generally regarded as one of the rougher areas of the city overall. But overall, this area has a ton of character, and like I said, this is my favorite neighborhood in the city. 20th Street is the main commercial area of Riversdale, and along here are some fantastic places to shop and eat. Primal Restaurant has a fantastic reputation, and they do some top-notch Italian food here. One of my favorite restaurants overall in Saskatoon is Odd Couple, right on 20th Street. Hometown Diner is very popular. I was there recently, and I've been there a few times, and it's never not great. And of course, you have the legendary Park Cafe. This is really considered to be one of the best breakfast places in the city, and this restaurant has been here throughout the decades, long before this area became popular. My favorite store in Saskatoon is Hard Press Studios. They do these fantastic in-house designs that feature different aspects of Saskatchewan and prairie culture. Another place you have to visit in the neighborhood is Garden Architecture and Design. I don't even know what you call this place. It's a gift shop, garden center, greenhouse. It has this massive outdoor area with plants and yard and garden accessories. It's just really beautiful to look at, and it just adds a really cool element to this neighborhood. And so honestly, in my opinion, this is the coolest neighborhood overall in Saskatoon, and if you're exploring the city in detail, you have to visit Riversdale. Okay, at number 7 is River Landing. This is a large riverfront area of central Saskatoon. It sits directly to the south of Riversdale and downtown, and this area has been significantly redeveloped in recent years. The pathways and trail system and parks in this area along the riverfront were significantly upgraded, and this is just a beautiful area to take a walk in Saskatoon. And in the past decade, there have been some major buildings constructed in this area. The Remy Modern Art Museum officially opened in 2017. And this is one of the coolest looking buildings in the city. And then right beside the Remy, you have this cluster of towers, and the Nutrient Tower, when it opened in 2021, became the tallest building in Saskatchewan at 290 feet. And when I think about it, River Landing is another really great place to start exploring the city. If you start here, you have Riversdale and downtown to the north, and you're just a bridge away from the east side of the city. And so if you're new to Saskatoon and you're looking for things to see, you should definitely visit River Landing. And of course, that leads to number 8, which is Saskatoon's River Valley Trails. The South Saskatchewan River is a major Canadian prairie river, and it cuts diagonally through Saskatoon. Saskatoon's River Valley is called the Meewasin Valley, and it's operated and maintained by the Meewasin Valley Authority, which is a conservation organization started by the provincial government. And there is an official hiking trail that spans the entire country of Canada called the Great Trans-Canada Trail, and this trail goes right along the river through the city of Saskatoon in the Meewasin Valley. Some of my personal favorite areas of Saskatoon's River Valley are the trails on the east side of the river just south of the Broadway Bridge. That area is pretty cool. And I also enjoy the Riverfront trail system on the University of Saskatchewan campus. That whole campus is really beautiful, and this is a fantastic area to explore if you're looking for a beautiful green space and a very well-maintained urban river valley. Okay, so at number 9 is 33rd Street from Idlewild Drive to about Avenue F North. This is not a very big area, but this particular stretch of 33rd Street has really developed its own identity and character, and this is a cool area to walk around. And if you're in Saskatoon in September, they're actually having a 33rd Street Community Fair on Saturday, September 16th, which will feature some of the businesses in this area. 33rd Street is on the border of two neighborhoods, Caswell Hill and Mayfair, and these are some of the oldest neighborhoods in Saskatoon. And of course, this is the Strange North channel, and I'm largely doing videos on strange and paranormal type topics. You might be into that stuff too, and if that's the case and you're in Saskatoon, you absolutely have to visit Glitch Gifts and Novelties. This is a fun, interesting, cozy, fascinating store that is entirely dedicated to everything strange, paranormal, and weird. But they have a ton of unique items here, and this is a great place for gift ideas and a place where you can find things that you won't find anywhere else in town. And a lot of the stuff in here, of course, incorporates strange and paranormal themes. The highlight of this place is located directly behind the gift shop, and that is Glitchy's Oddities Museum. The displays range from the legitimately creepy and serious to things that are more fun and jokey and satirical. One of the highlights of this museum is Sophie the Haunted Doll. There's quite a history there, and I'm going to get more into that in my Haunted Saskatoon video. And this display even needs the protection of a holy religious icon to keep the dark arts at bay. The museum also features these really cool shrunken heads from the jungles of Peru, and there's even an allegedly and reportedly authentic Bigfoot footprint behind glass in this museum. And again, there are far too many things to get into. I could almost do an entire video on this place, and I may in the future, but I will go into more detail on Sophie the Haunted Doll when I talk about haunted locations in Saskatoon. And honestly, besides visiting Glitch Gifts, I haven't been to any other businesses along this street. It just seems like this whole area is developing its own vibe, and I really hope this turns into a permanent cool area of the city. So if you're in Saskatoon and you're looking for things to do, you should at least visit Glitch Gifts and the wildly interesting Oddities Museum in the back. And there might be some other things along this street that spark your interest as well. At number 10 is Baba's Homestyle Pierogis. This is the only drive-through pierogi restaurant in Canada, and honestly, this is the one restaurant I recommend you visit when you're in Saskatoon. And if you're grabbing a bite to eat here, I would just recommend the classic, most popular super combo plate. It comes with one of their house-made smoked sausages, a couple cabbage rolls and tomato sauce, and then a bunch of pierogis with crumbled bacon and grilled onions. And I want to do another separate video down the road showcasing some of the best restaurants in Saskatoon, because the city really has a surprising amount of great places to eat. But I think Baba's Pierogis is the #1 restaurant to visit in Saskatoon. It's delicious, it's convenient, it's relatively affordable, and if you're looking for something that's authentically local, you must visit Baba's Homestyle Pierogis. So I hope you enjoyed my list of places to visit in the city of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. And of course, this is not a comprehensive list of every single cool thing to do in Saskatoon. I just hope this gives you a really good starting point as you're exploring the city. And if you want to watch more Saskatchewan content, you can also check out my top 10 Regina video, and I'm doing a bunch of other Saskatchewan videos in the upcoming weeks. And if you're interested in watching more of my videos in general, please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be uploading at least one new video per week. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the Strange North channel.